Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SB Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out a track from an act named Cymates? 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 This is my English accent coming through, Cymates. And this track, I believe, it says renewal version, but I've also, if we switch over to here, I've got the translation for this song. It says Moonlight Wind. So I assume that this track is obviously by Cymates. You've got Moonlight Wind renewal version, official music video. I feel so dumb. You know what? For most of my life, I've been like, what does MV mean? I've just clicked, it means music video, doesn't it? Why is this taking me so long? I've done so many reviews, and it's just clicked now a year into it. Whatever. We're going to listen to this track, this music from start till finish, and then we'll have a listen to we'll have a look through the lyrics, and we are going to hear what we think. Let's go. And we'll go back to the start. There we are. All that guitar's coming through nice and clearly, isn't it? Nice extended chords here. Really bright tone to those guitar parts. All synths. That the Foley there is quite loud in comparison to that guitar work. And like, I'm loving the really kind of those arpeggiated synths. I'm just wondering whether it's more of a kind of a cinematic kind of Foley thing, like in regards to the volume or not. Lovely sort of texture to his voice. I kind of want to watch this with the lyrics. I want to watch this with the lyrics on the side, but I also want to watch the video in full. So you guys, because for you guys watching this review, I want you guys to also be able to sort of see the video. Oh, also, by the way, I'm not a super massive expert on music videos. So typically when I'm watching a music video, I try to focus on the musical elements of it. So if you don't see me sort of talking about sort of directions in regards to the shots or the color grading or anything like that, while I know about that stuff, I'm not super knowledgeable. So just focus on the music parts. I like how the vocals are paired with the kind of sounding kind of bits. And how like of a smooth, kind of sultry kind of pad those strings are becoming. I'm loving the register they're in. Okay, I mean, like, I'm wondering if those guitars were meant to be that quiet in the mix, the initial strummed acoustic guitars, or because some music that I listen to is deliberately done like that. You deliberately have that range in the dynamics of the different instruments, or the different loudnesses. I mean, like, considering the kick is coming through nearly nicely with this. I'm liking that we're repeating these vocal melodies, that we're staying within the scales, that we're not doing too many chromatics, because I don't think that having the vocalist kind of run a gauntlet of sort of chromatics, even on legato, would necessarily be a smart idea. Sort of a mezzo piano kind of feel to this. Everything's very gentle. Hey, nice sort of call and response there, or like a repeater on those backing vocals. Those jingles are gorgeous, how they're being panned in the mix. The bass is sitting nicely in the mix. These headphones I'm wearing, they'll pick up if there's a heavy bass resonance. This is sounding okay so far, it's good. There's sort of a nice reverb tail on those vocals. It's tricky because you've got to be careful with the reverb. If the decay is set to be too long, it kind of just hangs there and it kind of becomes a little bit too sort of airy depending on the other instruments you've got in the mix. Yeah, the drum. The snare is sounding a little bit quiet. I think they're like... I would be interested to like see how this was mixed. Because I want to... You really have to be careful when you say something's too quiet or too loud. Primarily because, again, it can also be your headphones. Like sometimes there's a resonance in certain instruments within certain headphones. Like there's these specific headphones I really want to get at some point that are better than these guys, and these guys are like Sony. These are Sony 1000 MX3s or whatever the hell they are. They're not bad headphones, but just so that you guys, like, if I hear something's quiet, I want to make sure that factually it is, because I just want really decent neutral headphones. I'm liking how beautiful and colorful those higher range kind of guitar melodies here. I'm kind of like a 70s to 80s kind of pop kind of vibe from this track. Really, it's kind of nostalgic for whatever reason. I don't even know why, because I was born in the 90s. Yeah, there's a little bit of a resonance in the bass. I'm wondering if that's sort of like something that could sort of be checked in terms of EQ for the EP. Yeah, so I'm hearing a bit of a kind of sound on those cymbal hits. I'm wondering if that's intentional. It sounds like there's a little bit of distortion or something like that on them. But the rides are coming through so clearly, so... I'm wondering if that's actually coming through on the vocal channel. So like, I'm sure these guys are doing it totally fine. I'm sure this isn't an issue. But occasionally when you're recording vocals, what can happen is if you push the gain too high, the meter will go into the red. And on analog decks, well, yeah, analog decks. Like on analog mixing discs, what will happen is if you get a little bit of distortion, like on the channel, it's not necessarily always a bad thing. If you push it a little bit, sometimes you can get some really kind of interesting stuff occur. But on digital, like inputs, like digital audio pieces of audio hardware, if you go into the red in the input meter, it can sound really... Yeah, I don't think this is what's happened here. But yeah. There's sort of a desperation sadness. I mean, I could have told potentially by the fact that this was shot in black and white, a guy going around the town in his car. It sounds like he's really struggling, and I want to get into these lyrics after this video. It's very important for me to do so. But I'm liking the fact that the vocals have been double-taked. I'm liking the fact they're repeating these melodies and the phrasing of them. This is how you build really good choruses, is you have to find a melodic sequence. You have to make sure it sounds catchy, but not catchy in a way that's cheesy. You don't want it to sound cheesy because then people are going to think, oh, they're not going to take it seriously. You got to find a melody that sounds good to yourself and that communicates the emotion that you want to within the lyrics. And then you've got to sing it like that. And then you've got to repeat it to get it stuck in people's heads. And that's what Simmates have done here. I'm liking where that lead solo is placed. It's interesting to have the solo on the left side of the stereo field. I'm so used to being it in the center because usually during solos what will happen is the vocalist will be in the center of the stereo field and then they'll sing. And then usually you'll have the guitar replace the vocals as the main focal point. But here, you've got the solo kind of sounding like, oh, I get it. So you've had like one side come in and then the other side responds, right? Like a conversation. Okay. Lyrics by Matthew Chu, Ethan Lau. Matthew Chu. Very competent performance in regards to most of the instruments, the drums, the bass parts. I love the bass tone actually. I'm wondering how they recorded the bass parts because it sounds like it was done through a tube amp. Like what's cool about the bass as well as it's trying to sort of sync up with the drums and the kick and all that, that's exactly what you need to do with the bass guitar. You just need to provide that foundation that goes with the drums, you know? Sure, you can do all sorts of fun stuff, but the primary job of the bassist is to be the foundation for the band, you know? These 16th notes solo melodies are kind of beautiful. I think that it was a clever idea to have this end on those guitar solos. It was nice, sort of like an outro, kind of backwards and forwards kind of thing between people. I see it as a conversation. I hear it as a conversation. Again, these what was the word I'm looking for? These I want to listen. I want to look through the lyrics to kind of confirm how they relate to everything. But I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with what I've heard so far. There's just a couple of things that I pointed out in regards to like the strummed guitar levels and the intro. I'm just not sure whether they were meant to be as quiet as they were in relation to the rest of it, or whether there was some automation that went on. It was just such a shame because I love the coloration of those sort of strummed chords. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful harmony that was being played by the guitarist. But I can also understand that sometimes you don't want to have too much stuff going on, especially when they're trying to include all these sort of synth and kind of higher sort of lead parts with the vocals as well. Because the vocalist was in like the upper mid register, like C4, C5 or something like that, you know? So you've also got to kind of balance everything out. You know, wind broke up, even though the hurt is hard to leave. Forget you, your fragrance on that day. Oh, so this is definitely about a breakup. I understand that. So first of all, I think, you know, youth will never go perfect again, leave you your memories. I completely understand that the song was about a breakup. It sounds mournful. I actually can, I am relating so much to what the vocalist is talking about because I used to go on walks at night to cope with the loss I felt over relationships. You know, you just feel so destroyed by it. You know, it really mucks you up when you go through a breakup with someone that you have these immense feelings for, you know? You know, because you can't stop, you know, your brain doesn't allow you to forget that person for a while, you know? The ruthlessness of the wine and shadow, it's all your broken resonance. Youth seems to end in an instant, still have to wish you. Yeah, exactly, because time goes so quickly and you realize, oh, I wish I'd made the most of it. Indulge in air alone, feel a sense of loss, but always remember. I used to hug you and hope, count the stars in front of the sea and listen to my singing. Left me myself under the moon, the wind rise again. Say goodbye to the past, but feel inferior. Dry the tears, remembering. Look back again, the shadow of the past. So it's definitely someone trying to cope with what's occurred recently and trying to come to terms with the fact that they're not with the person that they love anymore. This sounds like it's very therapeutic for the vocalist in this. The music kind of sounds like it's surrounding the singer in a way where it's like, I've just got to just do the video for a moment. It sounds like the music was trying to sort of support and comfort the vocalist in their time of need. Like there was just the how do I say this? The individual instruments that came in these different melodies were like thoughts that they had and kind of happy memories that are bittersweet because they can't replicate them anymore. It's clever music. I like how we developed the song and its intensity over time. How we didn't give too much away at the start. That's kind of why I'm sort of open-minded about that volume with the guitar kind of thing. I can understand that. You know, why do you say goodbye? Still miss you deeply. How can I give up? Still the dream is broken and wiped away. I hope fuzzy eyes to see the past fly away. I resonate with that. And the thing is, as well as for Simates or Simates, I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to butcher it. I'm trying my best. For this act, they're gonna find success with this song because it's something that a lot of people will be able to relate to. a lot of people will be able to relate to their either being broken up with or losing someone that meaningful to them. And at nighttime is when it's the worst because you're often alone, right? And everyone else is asleep and you're up thinking about it. That's the worst time. And this is actually something I don't see often. I don't see songs about what happens at night. Moonlight Wind. I think it's a really important song. Indulge in the air alone, feel a sense of loss, but always remember, I used to hug you in hope. Count the stars in front of the sea and listen to my sing, I was with you then. These lyrics are beautiful. I adore this. I adore these lyrics. They tell such a raw story, but at the same time, it's such a mature take on the subject because it's less about them being hurt, and it's not like they're angry or anything. They're just sad about it. They don't even regret it. It's just a shame that this has been lost. This time has gone. I am so incredibly sorry for your loss, my dude. You know, it sucks. I'm sure that person was really special to you. And I don't think that you can sing or write a song like that or perform it this authentically without it having actually happened. This isn't the kind of song you can write where you're just making it up as you go along. You're faking it. This is the real stuff. And this is also part of why, like, when I listen to the production of this, I'm very sort of gentle with it because I know that I know that this act, Cymates, that they're trying to make their best to make great music. You can tell that they put a lot of effort into recording these parts. You can tell they know what they're doing in regards to the sort of production of it. For the most part, the mastering, it was nice and loud in the mix. You know, it was nice and loud. And I think just they'll continue to develop as musicians. And I really hope that wherever they are, they can do shows and stuff and just continue to grow. But well done. This is effectively my review of Cymates' Moonlight Wind renewal version and the video along with it, as well as the lyrics. I can imagine the lyrics that I read, the translation of it, right? I can imagine, there's imagery, there's clear imagery there. It's so effective because of that. It's just so relatable. Like, I kid you not, man, like, from the bottom of my heart, I used to write music like this when I was, like, coping, but these guys are talented enough to do it like this. And they'll find success because of it. I wish Cymates, the best of luck. Best of luck in future with their endeavors. Yeah. Thank you for watching this review. Hopefully you enjoyed the song. If you did, please do go show this act some love via the social medias and YouTube page. Stay cool, stay safe, and remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. Is it need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on. I'm just making sure I haven't forgotten anything because I tend to with these reviews. I tend to get a little bit forgetful sometimes. You know what I mean? I think that it was important that they included these extended chords within their harmonies because they needed to illustrate the complexity of the situation. This is not a song where you can get away with just having major or minor triads. You can't get away with sus2 or sus4 triads. You definitely wouldn't want to have any Lydian or Phrygian triads. You need to have these 6th, 7th, 9th harmonies. The drums needed to be as simple as they were. The drums needed to be simple because there was so much going on with the rest of the instrumentation in this. It was really well thought out. They balanced the energy levels efficiently. It was a smooth run, and it was 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes. They kept it interesting for the 5 minutes. It's wild, dude. I've reviewed like 1,500 songs over the last year. I get bored sometimes within the first 2 minutes. Not with this. They're going to go far. Mark my words, these guys are going to go far. I think I did the stay calm, remember support your local musicians and artists point in time part, but again, it's important to do that. And see you later. Spider hands out.